When you think about a content team within an organization, a corporation, what's the makeup of, in your mind, the perfect makeup on a day-to-day basis? How should they approach it? You've mentioned newsrooms and things like that. I tend to think more like that idea, like almost like a bullpen style newsroom idea, where every day you're figuring out what you're going to do.
If you went 100%, some brands are doing this, you create an in-house studio. And so you not only build in-house facilities where you can consistently make this content, you staff up with experienced writers and producers and executive producers and graphic artists and digital artists and the things you need to be able to consistently put out content on your own. If you don't go that route, you can back away and at least make sure that in your marketing organization you have either a head of content or an executive producer who is someone experienced in entertainment and information programming for the people. We need a lot more of that in corporations to at least lead the effort and work with third-party vendors who do actually do the production and the creation of the programming. Newsrooms work and they're great, but don't bother putting together a newsroom or staffing up a newsroom if you are not then going to give them the freedom to act. If you're going to put them through a process in which they have to get multiple levels of approval for everything they do and everything they put out, and you can't be agile and turn something around and get it out immediately, what's the point of having a newsroom?
I've seen the in-house setups that work, and I think they're few and far between. The issue is like, I liken it to like ABC, right? When they brought all of their production in-house, suddenly their stuff got stale, and and it became more politically motivated as opposed to creatively developed, right? So when they went back out, they started having hits again. And I think one of the issues with going in-house is that it can get stale. The people can get in a controlled environment and not have the like you said, the freedom that's there. You have to allow some space because there's going to be mistakes. Everything they do isn't going to work. Everything they do might not actually resonate with your audience. It might get on the edge. And how are you going to deal with that? So working with third-party production resources, agencies that understand content, that can develop stuff. Certainly for brands that are smaller and don't have the resources to do that in-house, that's the only way they're going to get it done. But even for larger brands, sometimes it works better. Maybe a hybrid model where you're getting enough outside influence, where you're getting some fresh ideas to come in, and then they can be managed internally so that they don't go too far off the reservation. In a perfect world, you'd have, like you said, someone who understands production. I think about the idea of asset development as opposed to building a piece of content. Inside every piece of content, there's multiple assets. Whether that's a piece of B-roll, it's a simple quote, it's a moment that you can pull out. You're always thinking about that and cataloging those resources, those assets, and being able to reuse them. And understanding what you have at your disposal when you're producing. That's the key. The business of producing is understanding what assets you have, what resources you can pull, and properly using those. And so I think that's a big part of it. That content should have a pathway directly to audiences, which then connects to the salespeople. So the marketing team may be involved, the sales team has to be involved, but the two things have to come together around content. If it only has a sales bent, then it doesn't actually help build the brand, and it could go off course really easily. So it's getting both of those things together, I think, that makes the difference. And so a really well-functioning team would have a healthy input from both of those into the content group. And that could be some makeup of an internal executive producer, external production resources, because keeping those people on board all the time may not be cost effective. So those are the things that stand out to me when I think about what brands could be doing and how we as the content mind think about content production. And that's what we're seeing that's been effective. But also taking a video-first approach where you start with video, you transcribe the information, you turn it into written content. You're able to take all of that, you've got stills, you've got audio for podcasts, you've got, all of these different elements that you can bring together from one session. You need to make sure you get those moments for every channel and for every phase in the marketing funnel.